Hello, hello. Here's how I sculpt the torso. Here, I'm using the male head that I made on my previous tutorials. Then I made a guide for an 8 head proportion using a cube with an array modifier. So I start with a single vert. If you don't have this, you can enable extra objects on the add-ons. Put it here and extrude up to the head. Then give it a skin and subdiv modifier. Go to Edit Mode and Ctrl A to scale it up. Ctrl R to add a vert, then scale it up as well. Then right-click and convert to mesh to apply all the modifiers. Don't forget to turn on symmetry, and I use a grab brush to shape the torso. At this point, don't get obsessed with the details yet, but focus on the big shape or the silhouette. Then I remesh and smooth. I create a V-shape first for the sternocleidomastoid, then build a clavicle using clay strips. Remember that the clavicle looks like a bow from the top view. Then I start to build the scapula, starting with the acromion. Then I draw this line for the spine. Just move this down a bit and start building the deltoid. The deltoid has 3 heads. Here, the anterior that originates from the clavicle, the lateral from the acromion process, then the posterior from the spine of the scapula. They all insert to the humerus, so bring this down, or we want to see an inverted triangular shape instead when looking from the side. Draw this to define the sternocleidomastoid more. Then dig in here to shape the trapezius. Poke this up because we want this guy to be muscular. Just widen the neck a bit, then don't forget the Adam's apple. Here, I'm just sketching the sternum, then the rib cage. Draw this line for the latissimus dorsi. Then sketch the pelvis, starting with the aces, which is an important landmark to remember. It doesn't need to be perfect. We just put the landmarks so we know where to build the muscles. Then I build the pectoralis major. Here's the obliques, serratus anterior. Draw a line here, then add the abdominal muscles and the crutch. I widen the torso a bit to make him more muscular. Then on the back, here's a diamond-shaped tendon of the traps. Poke this up. Infraspinatus, which is usually flat. Then here's the teres major. Then bulk this up a bit for the insertion of the serratus anterior to the scapula. Then here's the erector spinae. Although these will be covered by the lats, keep in mind that the lats is a thin muscle, so these shapes will still be visible. So just poke this side for the lats. Then the glutes. I'll just leave this be and work on this later once we have the legs. Then I work on the silhouette again and use mesh filter to smooth. Now that the muscles are in place, I lessen the voxel size to sculpt more details. Remember that the sternocleidomastoid has 2 origins, the sternum and the clavicle. Then it inserts to the mastoid process of the skull. In doing a muscular pecs, usually the transition from the clavicle to the muscle is smoother. Then for the abs, it's important to break symmetry to make it more believable. Here, I'm looking at the silhouette, so I'm just poking this a bit. Make the serratus anterior a bit rounded, then here's the obliques, which are flat, and maybe we'll see the ribs a bit to add more complexity, then smooth. Here's another landmark, the seventh cervical vertebra. Then remember to break the line on this part. I'm just polishing at this point and see what I can improve. While it's nice to know the muscles, it's also important to consider the skin, fats, and all the imperfections, also where to smooth. In short, the forms, just to make our model more natural and believable. You can merge the torso and the head if you want, but I'll just keep them separated for now. I know I'll probably tweak this more later once I add the arms and the legs. But that's all for now. Happy sculpting! Bye!